Hello everyone, welcome to Rad Chat Live at UKIO. My name is Namanjolka Anderson and joined by fellow host Joe McNamara.
Hi everyone.
So we've got a lovely new guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself please?
Yep, hi, my name is Samsam Mahdi and I'm currently a student in London South Bank University, but I'm here on behalf of the Society of Radiographers.
Oh, amazing. So what got you into the profession initially?
My mum, actually. My mum, she's epileptic. She became epileptic later on in life. And she used to get a lot of scans due to obviously like what caused it and like why this is happening to her and like loads of different scans. So what I did was I used to go to appointments with her because obviously sometimes she would have like consecutive seizures, so she needed somebody to accompany her or like just like translate because my mum's English is not always that great, but yeah, so that, and then I used to see the radiographers doing their job and I would just be like, oh my god, this is really great, like, and they were so nice, and I just kind of like, I don't know, I just wanted to always be like part of them, so I would ask questions, I'd be like, oh, how did you guys get into this? So I'm a mature student actually, so I had previous...
Oh, you look so young and fresh-faced.
Thank you, thank you so much. No, I had a previous life before this. So it was like that thought of coming back to education, oh, do I really want to do this? But then because of the fact that I consecutively kept going back to the appointments with my mum, I was like, yeah, I think this is a bit of me and I need to do it. So that kind of made me go back into education and go back into doing radiography, and I love it. Oh my gosh, I think I chose the right thing for myself. This is great. Yeah, so it's been so great. Thank God.
It's nice to hear you talk so passionately about it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You never really know if, I don't know, when I started university, there were bits that I didn't like, but then the good bits were obviously what you start to focus on.
Yeah.
And obviously with your colleagues and stuff, and then now when the profession, I love it. It's just amazing. It's really fun. You get to see patients all the time and stuff.
Yeah, and you get to interact with people. So previously I was obviously working in an office, but you don't really interact with a lot of people, and you always interact with like just a small group of people. Whereas now I'm meeting new people every single day, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is what I needed, because I'm very chatty, and then I'm very open, and I'm always like, oh, what's your name? What's your name? So that was very, very good, and I was like, it just made me realise that okay, this is what I want to do.
What piece of advice would you give people considering a career as a diagnostic radiographer?
Be open to networking, be open to like sympathising with patients, as well as being resilient. There's like a certain extent of resilience you need to have, and as well as a certain extent of empathy. You need to empathise so you can like care for them to your best of capability, if that makes sense. But at the same time, you need to have resilience so you don't cry or get upset, especially if you're like therapeutic radiography. I don't do therapeutic radiography, and that's the reason why I didn't choose it, because the resilience you need to have. I don't have that. I cry all the time. So I cry over movies, and I'm like, yep, I'm not doing therapeutic radiography. But if you, for example, were to do therapeutic, even diagnostic, because you meet patients that are going through so much, or like if you're doing like ultrasounds, they might get a biopsy and something like that, and they might be like getting really bad news and good news. So obviously that really helped me. Having like a certain amount of resilience as well as empathy, I would definitely say that. If you don't have it, I wouldn't say leave, but I would say try and build on the skills to having more empathy and or more resilience, like trying to balance both, if that makes sense.
And you can build resilience, and you can actually teach yourself to be more resilient, and there are some really good resources out there around resilience building, so definitely check those out and speak to your team. I think sometimes students will not necessarily open up about how they're really feeling. They might say, oh, I'm struggling with this assessment. But, well, why are you struggling with that assessment? Or why are you struggling to communicate effectively with patients? Or why are you standing back and not necessarily getting hands-on? And a lot of the time, that can be perceived as, oh, this student doesn't care.
I know.
Actually, I genuinely think that, of course they care. They're paying to do a degree. But a lot of the time, I think it's because they maybe don't have that confidence or the resilience, and being open and saying that to staff, I think, is empowering.
It is, and actually it's really nice that you said that, because a lot of people do think students that stand back are not interested, but it's because they're just shy and they're not used to meeting new people every day, or seeing like, or even how to interact with patients. They don't know how to do that, and then they'll be like, oh my god, this is not me. Or like, for example, they will know how to do a certain thing, but like actually putting it into action is a bit harder, because they know the theory side of things, and then they'll be like, oh my god, I don't know, and then everyone will be like, oh, this student's not interested, and I'll be like, no, they are, they're just scared. They just need that initial like nudge or a push, like, oh, it's okay, you're here to learn, you're here to make mistakes, we're here to supervise as radiographers or like seniors. Just go for it, and then I'll watch what you're doing, and if you need help, I mean to stand next to you, I'll do it now, but next time if you don't need me to stand next to you, then I'll stand back and just watch from the distance. But
I can see a future practice educator in the making.
Oh, thank you. Stop. Thank you so much. Hopefully. But no, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
What have you enjoyed about UKIO the most?
Meeting new people. Definitely. I love meeting new people. Like I said, you guys can tell I'm very, very, very talkative. Oh my God, this is bad. But I do love meeting new people. I do love like just seeing the future of what possibilities radiography can give. I didn't realise radiography was so much more to just actually being in the hospital or like a clinical setting, or like, for example, CDCs now that they're becoming very popular. But it's so much more than that. Like, I'm seeing every store, everyone's like, I'm a radiographer and I do this, I'm a radiographer and I do that, and I'm just like, you can do that as a radiographer? So that kind of gave me an insight of the future and what it looks like, and I was like, oh my God, this is really good. I can see myself doing that in the future. I can see myself doing anything in the future, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it just kind of gave me an insight of the future and meeting new people, instead of like, because before I had this like misconception where radiographers are just in hospitals or CDCs, and even though I love doing that as well, but I just thought it was like that. But then this kind of gave me like a whole wide spectrum of what radiography looks like in both sides, therapeutic and diagnostic, and I was like, okay, this is great.
So the work that you're doing with the Society College of Radiographers, tell us a little bit about that.
So I do correspondent work, editorial. So what we do is we kind of go around into each store, stand and like talks, and then we take notes, and then we give it back to like what we've learned, what we've taken back from like what we've learned from each hall or each talk or each stand, and then we take that back, and then we just kind of like implement how we can implement that into our lives or our future, or how that helped us, or how that built us as a person, if that makes sense. So that's what we do, like for Society of Radiology. They really, really helped us kind of like get out of our little bubbles and shells, and they introduced me to so many people, and that kind of helped me just kind of like expand as a person. Even though it's only been 3 days, I feel like I just like my mind is a massive, and I'm just like, there's too much guys, like it's overstimulating, there's too much in my brain, let me just calm down. Every time I go home I have to kind of like de-mind. I'm just like, you know. So it's really good.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Rad Chat.
Thank you for having me,
and we wish you all the best with your future career.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much for doing this. Thank you.
No, thank you. And keep. Oh yeah, let's get a photo. And.